in continuation with our previous session, students, we are going to discuss about the structure of DNA in this interaction. Now, as you are aware of, DNA occurs in chromatin of nucleus in eukaryotes. 95 to 99% of this DNA is linear strand, that is straight. Then DNA is also there in the nucleoid and plasmids of prokaryotes. Prokaryotes means the cells which are without nucleus and they have got DNA in a circular form, as circular strand. Then DNA is also present in mitochondria of eukaryote cells and also the plastids of the eukaryote cells. So 95 to 99% here we find DNA is there in the linear as in eukaryotes as such in the nucleus, and then 1 to 5% of DNA we also find in mitochondria and plastids. Now, single-stranded DNA is found in some viruses, like if we say case of 5X174, this virus. Here we find that DNA is single-stranded. We'll discuss just after this that the DNA is otherwise double-stranded. But here in case of this virus 5X174, DNA is single-stranded. Now these the two strands of DNA otherwise are together called DNA duplex, and this DNA duplex has a diameter of 20 angstrom. This is a special unit, as you are aware of. So the distance, the diameter of this duplex is 20 angstrom. Length varies from small organisms to complex organisms like human beings. For example, in case of E. coli, Escherichia coli, the length of DNA is just 1.1 millimeter. But when we talk of human beings, it can go up to 4 centimeter. Now, this 4 centimeter length of DNA, it runs into, when we take the molecular weight of this DNA, it goes into millions. Further, the double strand or duplex is coiled plectonemically in right-handed fashion around a common axis, like a rope staircase twisted in a spiral. If you see, we take a case of a rope staircase where there's a center, that elongated axis, and around this elongated axis, the stairs they revolve and move up. So similar, something like that we find here also. The coiling product produces alternate major and minor groups. One turn of spirals has a distance of 34 angstrom, and this 34 angstrom basically has got 10 nucleotides, rather deoxyribonucleotides, and each nucleotide is the distance of from one nucleotide to another nucleotide is 3.4 angstrom. But before going into further discussion, let us see what are these nucleotides, and rather I should say we'll discuss another term, nucleosides. As you find, DNA structure is a double helix structure. So if we see, this is a central axis sort of a thing, and this is the strand revolving around this, and here we find from one coil to other side, then subsequently coming back to same side. So the distance from this place to this place, this is 34 angstrom, and in this 34 angstrom there are as many as 10 nucleotides here. These are nucleotides which are attached with hydrogen bonds on both sides. So there are 10. So each nucleotide has a distance of 3.4 angstrom from each other. So distance from this place to this place or this place to this place is 3.4 angstrom. Otherwise, from one group to another group, the distance is 34 angstrom. There are two groups, major group, this is a major group, followed by a minor group, and subsequently again a major group. But if we further examine, now I have used the term nucleotides here. So what are these nucleotides? Let us examine it first before going into discussion further. Now, what is a nucleotide? Before examining nucleotide, we shall see that what is a nucleoside. So if you see here, this is a nucleotide. Then another term which we have to explain first is the nucleoside. Nucleoside. So now this nucleoside, when we take, this is ribose sugar, but as we know that in DNA it is not ribose sugar, it is deoxyribose sugar. So what we'll do, we'll take this oxygen from here, and now this becomes a deoxyribose sugar. So this is deoxyribose sugar molecule over here. Now this molecule, this is carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4, and this is carbon number 5. Number 1 and number 4, they are attached with this through this oxygen atom. Now when we find that this OH, this group is replaced, or rather I should say dehydrolysis takes place here, and this, in place of OH we find here one of the nitrogenous bases. So one of the nitrogenous bases here, it is the nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous base. Well, this base can be adenine, this base can be guanine, this base can be cytosine, or this base can be thiamine also, as the case may be. So in this case, now this nitrogenous base here, when it is attached, now this nitrogenous base along with this sugar molecule, whole thing, it is called, this whole thing is called a nucleoside. So what is a nucleoside? This is what is called a nucleoside. When we go here it becomes a nucleoside. So nucleoside is a nitrogenous base. Now this nitrogenous base may be, as I've told you just now, it can be adenine, or it may be thiamine, it may be cytosine, or it may be guanine also, it depends. But remember one thing, students, it can't be uracil, because as you are aware of, uracil is not there in DNA. It is a nitrogenous base which is present in RNA. So here now this becomes, the whole thing becomes, the whole this thing is now a nucleoside. Now when this fifth carbon over here, this carbon has this OH group, and this OH group is replaced by a phosphate group. When I say phosphate, what do you mean by phosphate? Now phosphate is basically, if we see case of phosphate, this is phosphoric acid. As you are aware of, phosphorus has got a valency of 5. You must have studied in your chemistry classes. OH, OH, and then subsequently another OH here. So this is phosphoric acid. In this phosphoric acid, we take this out. We take this H from here. We also take H from here to make it a phosphate group. As you are aware of, PO4 3 negative is a phosphate group. So this is a phosphate group, and this group has got now charge over here, negative charge here, negative charge here, and negative charge here. So this whole thing becomes a phosphate. This phosphate group now is attached with this CH2. Here it goes. So this the whole thing now becomes a nucleotide. So earlier nitrogenous base and a sugar was a nucleoside, but the moment we add phosphate, so now here we take this OH out and we join this group, phosphate group, with the this group over here, like this. So it becomes a nucleotide. So quickly, so here we find that the two are joined by this bond over here. So nucleoside has got two components. One is the nitrogenous base. This is nitrogenous base 1. Then the whole thing is this part, that is your this part, this is the deoxyribose sugar, and this is third one is the phosphate group. So when all the three they are taken together, then it becomes a nucleotide. The whole thing is called nucleotide. But otherwise, sugar as well as the nitrogenous base, the whole, when we take these two together, then it becomes a nucleoside. Right. So we are back for our discussion further on this. The properties of DNA. We were doing the structure. We go back to our structural part again.